BSR 1360 AM, and on the video conference tonight we have Mr. Van Stone, and he is joining us live. Van, how you doing tonight?
I'm doing great. So I'm starting again, and I am looking to see if everything is going smoothly. I'm just going to assume that it is. So I'm Van Stone, and of course with Power WBSR 1360. I'm the face behind the voice that you have heard for so many years doing radio, public radio, educational radio, AM, FM, and during this time, as everybody knows, we're dealing with the COVID-19 pandemic. So we're here. Of course, I appreciate this opportunity on the Jerry Wilson Show, which is the short segment, bring you up to date, what we have for you, and maybe, some positive things, maybe to cheer you up. We also have with us Warren Bloom from the Bloom Report. So we're going to have a little back and forth, hopefully, and maybe, we'll really brighten your moment. So right now it's 6:42, and of course here in Philadelphia, the weather is nice, and tomorrow's going to be rainy. So we try to give you a mixture, the weather, the news, and whatever else that we can do. So as I was saying before, we started the broadcast. We're going to try to do some important things, such as we're going to provide some tips. 3 tips we're going to always try to touch on, regardless if it's this show here, Jerry Wilson's show, and I'm joining him, or if it's other shows or the Talk Live with Van Stone. So we're going to give you some tips on the consumers. Also, we're going to give you tips on finance and on health. Now that was hard. I wanted to make sure that I got the 3 things in. So let's start with some tips right now on finance. I think that's the most important thing that I will get your attention. That way, in case you walk away, you get busy, or you shut this off, at least we'll give you something what you need. Right now, the finance situation is getting a little better. Around the country, people are starting to get the necessary funds that you're trying to get. At least if you apply for your unemployment, and or if you're in trouble and you need other assistance and you never really had what's known as SNAP, but to most of us from the street, we know it as welfare. So if you never had that service before, now is a great time to humble yourself and apply. There's plenty of room, and there's plenty of opportunity, and there's plenty of resources. So that's the great thing about the SNAP program. There's enough to provide for just about every American, believe it or not. And since most Americans work more so than those who rely on the safety net, this is the right time to fall back on that safety net. So if you can, go and apply for that assistance, that would be great. Before, it was real difficult to get through. Lines were tied up. But as the adjustment is being made, things are really getting better. So please, don't get over frustrated. Don't get over frustrated. Call back tomorrow and try to get whatever necessary things that you qualify for. Now that's the thing. So most people who have some cash, you probably won't be able to qualify for cash. But everyone should be able to qualify for food, unless you're just at a high financial rate. And if you're at a high financial rate, then you're doing pretty good right now. So we have some people, just a reminder, who cannot get any assistance when it comes to the SNAP program or welfare, and that's because they don't have 2 things. They don't have a birth date certificate, and they do not have a social security number. So if you don't have that, that's why you can't qualify, you and your children. Okay, let's go to the next tip, since this is a short segment, and then I'll turn it back to Jerry Wilson, and we're going to talk a little bit. what about when it comes to health? Okay, we're giving you a tip on what's the best way to try to deal with the virus right now, the COVID-19. You really need to do some exercise, some breathing techniques, and try to continue to get that proper oxygen going in your system. Just in case you do get hit with the virus, your body will be a little more conditioned. So we need to do exercises. You can do exercises like I'm doing right now in the chair, okay? Because you're at home, maybe you can't go outside. These are exercises you can do, and you can actually do them faster, okay? Faster. You can do arm exercise, okay? Even behind your head. So of course you're familiar with jumping jacks. So all the things are used to doing when you're standing, you can actually do while you're sitting in the chair. And as much as you can do fast as you can, the longer, the better the workout is. Okay? That's it. All right? And why? Why is that important? It's so important because it will help you to continue to be healthy. Okay? Now behind me I have a weight bench, so I thought I would try this. Just in case you guys do the proper push-up, you do something like this.
Y'all got
Up and down, up and down.
gravy?
All right? That will be good. Okay, so that's your tips. Well, Jerry, what do you think?
Hold on for a second. I gotta hold on 1 second. Let's
Okay.
take our break right now, and we will hold on for a second.
Okay.
I'm having a little error right here. Okay, so we're gonna go ahead. I wonder what happened here. Here we go. Okay, so I'm gonna go on our break right now. We'll be right back. Hey Van, if you can hear me, hold on for a second. This is.
The world is talking about coronavirus, but it's hard to know what to listen to. We have answers to your questions, like who's most at risk for coronavirus? People over 65, people with underlying medical conditions like heart disease, chronic lung disease, asthma, diabetes, people undergoing cancer
Warren, can you hear me?
and people with weakened immune systems.
Yes. I can hear
All
you.
right. I thought your phone was on
For
mute.
loved ones
Everybody
at
can
higher
hear
risk,
everybody. So
avoid close contact with people.
still on the air.
Avoid crowds.
hear.
Stay home if you can.
Okay.
Wash
Okay,
your
Warren, you
hands
need to put your
frequently.
phone on mute.
Learn more ways to protect yourself and others at coronavirus.gov. Together, we can help stop the spread.
Your phone is not on mute. We can hear you. What's
I
up?
should have put my earplugs in.
Oh, you're home?
Okay.
Did you make it home?
Okay, we are back live right here. Where is the conference at? Here we go. Okay, we're back right now, and we're on. We got Van Stone back, and we're gonna go back to him real quick. Van, what's going on?
Okay, so basically I was giving out the tips, and so we went over 2 tips. We went over the health tip, and we went over the financial tip. So this is really important, which hopefully you can apply these things to yourself and improve your situation. So let's have a brief discussion about what's happening right now. I think that's most important. We're not going to really deal with the politics right now. We know that people are paying attention to the candidate for president, Democrat, Joe Biden, and also they're talking about Trump. We need to put that aside right now because locally, especially Black Americans, we need to discuss certain things like what's going on with our children or how we're adjusting putting food on our table. So behaviors. We need to really discuss just briefly how things going when it comes to the behaviors. What's the feel on the street? Are people really being more cordial, or are we still having difficulty adjusting to what's happening? So Jerry, that's basically where we're at. So, I just wanted to know your thoughts on that.
Well, let's get to Warren real quick. Warren, do you have anything to say?
Yeah, I'm just getting back in my car. Sorry.
Okay.
Trying to get this from my mom, but.
Okay, he sounds like he's tied up. Sounds like he's tied up. So we can just have a discussion about the adjustment of people really, doing the best that they can compared to people who still want to be rude. So right now, this is a time where if you're having all kind of feelings against other people for no reason at all.
Warren Bloom.
Okay, Warren Bloom is coming back with us. All right, Warren, welcome back. We probably have about 5 minutes left. So I was bringing up the topic of people's attitude and whether they're getting better when it comes to being rude, or are they remaining rude? So do you have any experiences of how people are interacting pretty much right now dealing with the COVID-19?
Yeah, I think you got to, it's mixed a little bit. I just left a story right there, there's a Jamaican store at 52nd and Arch. There's only supposed to be 3 people in there at a time. So, but it was after I placed my order, the gentleman came up, gave his order, and then he just stood there for a minute until he figured it out. He said, all right, I gave my order, now I should back up again. I thought that was a little rude, but he figured it out. But anyway, I think for the most part, people are trying to, work through this thing in a very, very cooperative manner. Overall, I think I've had a lot of people are impatient, but I can't really say I had no bad experiences. Thank God. I'm good energy when I come. Just believing for the best things at all times. That's just where my energy is. So things are, are great. I have no real complaints other than the fact that, we're at a time that tries the souls of men, but we can all make it through it.
Right. And that's good, because that's basically what I'm getting from most people. When you put boots on the ground, most people are starting to reuse the tools that they have been given by their parents when they were little. They're using proper words, excuse me, they're even saying may I, and that's really great. Even when people are coming just a little bit close, they're recognizing, pardon me, words that we're not used to before the COVID-19. Before you walk down the street and you would have a person, especially in the Black American community, you couldn't even look at a person. The person would ask you, what are you looking at? And half the time you're not really even looking at them. You're just trying to find your way or go in your direction. And then you have some people who would just follow you, follow you around the corner. They're looking to start trouble. And not necessarily to commit crimes. Some people have just caught on this backward start of being a troublemaker is really something popular to do. To be mean, to be nasty, to just start making accusations for no reason. And we're talking publicly in the street. That's all we're talking about right now. So we're not dealing with what's happening in the homes. But if you notice right now, things are just going so smooth. It's just unbelievable that you can actually go out, go to the store. You can even wave to people. At one time, before the COVID-19, you dare not wave to someone. That would be a problem, you know? So jump right in, Warren. Jump right in.
Yeah, I think everybody needs to remember, yeah, we got to maintain a good quality of life. You know, you got to learn how to roll with the punches. But a lot of good is going to come out of this because we're going to be better prepared. Because I believe this thing is going to happen again, but when it happens, it won't have the same effect, God forbid, because we're gathering so much information and data on how to deal with, you know, crises like these. So I'm very optimistic. I'm very upbeat about the good things that's going to come out of this. But in every situation, when these pandemics come through historically, they reach it has to play itself out. It has to reach its peak. And I think we're almost there. We're almost at the crest.
Okay. So I'm glad to have you back because we shared 2 points with our viewers and our listeners. Of course, we already talked about health and we talked about finance. The third tip is consumer tips. Now, this is really, really important as well because once you get your money, you need to know what's happening in the street. If you notice, unfortunately, the companies who were not used to relying on us coming in the stores, they were so thankful, hopeful that we would come into the store and buy the products because there was so much competition. Right now, though, this is a bad time for the consumer. If you go in your local supermarket, you'll notice, maybe some of you shoppers out there, men and women, even the youngsters too, you know, may have came back and gave the adults a report that they've raised the prices on the food. And that's why this is still a bad time. It's a real bad time. Because if you go out now and you try to buy a pack of sausage, for an example, when normally the sausage are maybe $5 for a pack of sausage, the prices is now $20 for a pack of sausage. And so the consumer has to now be careful and pay attention because you have little resources at this time. You have to hold on to all of the money you have, take care of yourself, to spend for your family. We just have no control of these store owners doing, which is terrible what they're doing. So it's not just the price of toilet papers. We're not talking about that anymore. But we're just talking about all the prices now. And if you need to really get some things that are so important to, you know, keep you healthy, you have to really check the prices now. So be careful. You know, I don't know, Jerry or Warren, have you had any experience based on that?
Yeah, well, I know me. I've been in different stores, and you know, the people have been pretty much friendly. Like, I haven't really had too much, you know, negativity. I know I went to the computer store that I like to go to, and they were real friendly over there. As I said on the previous show, they're giving out masks, gloves, everything. So, you know, I've been finding people. You know, we're all just pretty much trying to get through this. You know.
Okay. Well, for the consumers, we definitely are here to help them. That's the whole point. So, you know, like I said, having a balance, and if there's a situation where you have a valid complaint, that complaint should be made. Because if you're not making a complaint, how are you going to get any help? You know, that expression, there's no use of complaining, that's not a realistic expression. That's just something that people just repeat and say. So as a consumer, then you have to really hold on to your money, and you have to spend your money the best way you can, being thrifty. We're trying to bring out these important points. Since this is a short show, I just wanted to get into those tips, which are, again, the consumer tips and the financial tips and the health tips. So if anybody has anything else left, now's a good time to share it.
Warren, do you have anything?
Yeah, I just want to say, everybody, just stay safe. This is a perfect time. You have a perfect excuse to call your family and loved ones who you may be a little estranged with and haven't talked to in a while, and just let them know we just call them to check on everybody. So these the opportunity we can mend fences and continue the love, because this at these type of situations, it makes us face and really see what's truly important. You know what I mean? Of course, and that's family and people's lives. Let's continue to maintain the peace. My grandkids called me. One of my granddaughters said her younger brother's stressing her out. I said, listen, you guys have to learn how to try to live in peace and tolerate one another. But anyway, just stay uh, in line with the social protocols, and I think you'll do all right.
Okay. All right. Well, thank you for joining us, Warren. And we're about to go off the air right here on Philly Funk Radio, Philly Funk TV. We would like to thank
Thank you,
Van for
everybody,
joining
for
us,
tuning in.
and we would like to thank Warren for joining us. Warren, have a good evening.
Thank you. Good evening, everybody.
Okay,
All right.
that was our nightly segment right here on Philly Funk Radio, Philly Funk TV. We had a couple of technical glitches, but this is reality here. This is what happens. And we're going to try to join you every night with a little update right here on this Facebook and YouTube channel. Everybody have a good night and see you tomorrow.